Good afternoon, my fellow panelists. Indeed, a real pleasure. It seems like today is World AI Day. As we speak on AI, there's a similar meeting happening in Davos on AI, right? So I think we must have done something right in our lives to be on the stage talking about AI. And I think, there are only two kind of people in this world now. One who use AI and the other ones who want to use AI. I don't know any other category. Pick up any business, be it government, be it startups, be it smart cities, uh, be it the Glam industry. I think everybody is impacted by AI. Uh, One of my panelists, while we were doing the pre-panel discussion, told me that that person has actually used AI to write stuff that they will discuss in this panel. So that's the magic of AI for you. Uh, I was talking to a HR head, and that person said a lot of resignation, medical leave emails that we get seem AI generated, right? So it's not only about smart cities, it's not about security, it's not about, you know, productivity. There are various use cases to AI. And I think you have to be very high on the growth barometer to make full advantage of it, because the the time is here and now for us to use AI. With that, Avi, your initial comments, please.
Thank you so much, Jaspreet. So I'll start by introducing a bit about the brand that I represent, which is Coto. And we founded Coto about a year and a half back. Born in 2023, gives a lot of advantage because AI then becomes an integral part of the product itself rather than becoming an afterthought. Koto comes from two words come together. It's a women-only platform which is based on communities and commerce. So we realize that 70% women have faced some form of sexual harassment, some form of cyberbullying on social media. While social media was supposed to create a safe space for anybody to express themselves, what it also did is give a space for anybody to say anything to any person. And that is why the moment a woman puts up a picture and if it's public, she starts to get harassed or she starts to get unsolicited comments. There are also points in life where women self-censor themselves, which means, and we did a survey and found out that in India, women do not express themselves the way they would have wanted to on social media because they think and their families think that their marriage prospects will be impacted by the social media profile that is created. And hence, and there are certain very pertinent topics like sexual health, like marital rapes, all of those, which can't even be discussed on social media because the platform itself is built in a way where, words like rape, words like sex are just taken down and the post cannot be put up. That's where, we realize that there is a safe space for women which is required. This space should integrate the best of technology and AI into it so that we can really make it a safe space, because there were already, so many groups that were existing on Facebook which were women only and so on. But how do you verify that it is a woman? I can create a profile in the name of a woman and then just go on. So the first step that we did is introduce AI into the app. At the moment the person downloads the app, there is a facial recognition happens, and with 99% accuracy, you are able to verify whether the person is a woman or not. The entry point itself integrates AI into it. If someone is not comfortable in sharing their picture, or if they are a transgender, so the government of India also now recognizes transgenders, and you can, in the Aadhaar card or through a passport, you can put up and verify yourself. So from the beginning, from the word go, AI gets integrated, and I'll talk a little, more about how the product at every step integrates technology to make the user experience as seamless and as one-on-one as possible.
Thank you for the great introduction, and I couple of takeaways, right? Obviously, from the other key messages that you gave. One was AI is at the forefront of everything that you do, right? We'll take that as we go along. Piyush, your opening comments, please.
Thanks. Good afternoon, everyone. So again, to tell about the space that we are in. So we are in the consumer experience space, customer experience space, which is there, and in the immersive tech space. So what we are trying to do is give every business, whether you're a startup, you're a small organization, large organization, can we help you make your online presence more beautiful, more data driven, more engaging, right? And along with it, can we help you build a brand, connect with your first set of customers or your regular customers, and get them to be a regular customer for you? That's the space that we are in, right? And all of this is driven by AI, right? We believe in the concept of mass customization. We think that the world is moving towards mass customization, which as an individual it is difficult. When we start saying, in a group of 30 people sitting here, how do I know what each one of you like, right? It's very difficult. But AI, with the kind of profiling that has happened, we've had about 1 million consumers consume content on our platform. So it studied the behavior of people, and now we are able to predict more or less in a 90% accuracy that this person is more likely to buy a product or is more likely to connect with your brand, in the immersive space. So that's the space that we are in, which includes whether we're talking about virtual stores, virtual learning centers, virtual training centers, virtual office spaces, anything. You want to start your business, we are helping use AI at the center of it and say this is how you go about setting up space online. So yeah, that's what it is.
Thanks, Piyush. And I think it just makes a journey of an entrepreneur much easier, right? To integrate, and then I don't need to worry about how do I do customer outreach for that matter, or customer profiling, which in itself in India, every 20 kilometers, the customer profile changes, right?
That's also there, and just to add to it, right? For an entrepreneur to have an AI integrated is not very easy, because it's not a cost-effective tech still available, right? You can integrate things,
Yeah.
but how do you customize it for your need is not easy. Whereas if someone like us who've got a team who's working with multiple entrepreneurs together, it just helps you to cost optimize and then use the platform.
And I'll rather focus on my business and leave the customer acquisition piece to the experts.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Dr. Anita, your opening comments, please.
Thank you, Jaspreet. So when we talk of AI, definitely government sees AI as a barometer for growth, a growth engine for country to realize various national goals, national development goals. So going forward, as a country, as a government, we need to really create an enabling environment, set the foundation where AI can be integrated across various, AI is going to cut across various sectors, be it agriculture, be it manufacturing, be it healthcare, be it financial services, and even governance. So we see this as a great tool, and as a government, we need to really create the base in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the right kind of policies, in terms of skilling the human resources in the country to adopt and take advantage and to spur the growth of AI. And we, within the Department of Science and Technology, as a pioneers of promoting business incubation activity and also deep tech startups, currently as 10,000 startups are there in the deep tech domain. So what should be the policies to be put in place? Office of PSA has come out with a deep tech policy, which is under consideration and will be likely to be announced. So how do we really fund and enable startups in the deep tech domain? So I think AI for all is a Niti Aayog which has come out. So it is going to impact each one, all organization, all industry and society at large in multitude of ways. And government is really taking forward AI as a great emerging technology for development of all. So in the next course, I'll just share about the various activities.
Sure. Two key takeaways, right? I think number one, you mentioned agriculture. And I read in the papers, and then we'll come back to you once we just do the round, that there are AI models that now can predict the yield of a crop with about 90% accuracy.
Crop management, it has so much of application, crop
Right.
management.
And second, I think I love the point that you spoke about the education and awareness piece. I think that is also, that is going to be one of our growth engines, propelling AI also to the next, or propelling the country to the next phase of growth, as we talk about by 2030, right? Thank you so much. Sadiya, your opening comments, please.
Yeah, thank you, Jaspreet. So I'll start with the quote. Electric minds in circuits bright, AI dance in the silent night, bites and bits, a digital song, tomorrow's harmony, AI's is a strong. So this quote is written by an AI only for AI. And that's how I start this. I'm Sadiya Naseem, founder and CEO of Glam Studios. Since we are talking about AI, I would just like to share that at Glam Studios or in the beauty industry, AI started as a virtual reality first, wherein people were able to see how would they look in a particular haircut, and how would this dress look on them, how would this makeup look on them. Then it went to smart mirrors, wherein they were, while taking the services, they were able to, learn more about other services offered in the salon. Now it has come to a level that, robots are doing manicure and pedicure and eyelashes extension. So you can see how deeply AI has integrated itself in this industry, and I'm sure it's going to be a long way. We don't know what all innovations would come in the future. But for me personally, I look at AI as definitely a tool which helps us being more proficient, being more productivity, and makes the organization align towards growth, because it takes care of a lot of stuff, which we were involved in. So that's how I look at it.
So it makes you more proficient, increases the productivity,
Right.
and helps you offer more services probably at a faster pace.
Exactly.
As well, right?
And it increases the productivity also of the people, productivity also. So if I look at my digital marketing team, we are now using the images also which are created by AI. So if we want a creative for selling a services for pumping or maybe straight hair, we don't have to buy models, or we don't have to buy pictures. We just generate a picture through AI. And not only the pictures or the videos, but even the content, everything is being generated by them, which is saving so much time of the resources that they came up with new ideas. I mean, my team keeps coming up with new ideas. Now we are as I was telling you offline also, we are preparing to launch a show within AI, wherein we'll be, it will be a chat show. We'll be talking what AI has to say about various beauty problems women face.
Sure. Just on that note, I saw a photograph on the face of a magazine called The New Yorker. They were humans sitting and begging, and robots were walking on the street. A little afraid, but with that, I'll go to Kartik for his opening comments.
Thank you, Jaspreet. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for the opportunity to be part of the panel, Jaspreet. Senzit is an industrial IoT startup. So we're actually fairly newly minted, just about 3 weeks old. It started off as a project inside a large German automotive supplier, and then they spun us off as a separate startup. So in the industrial space, I think we're a little bit behind the consumer space as far as AI is concerned. I think the advancements in the consumer space have all been sort of well documented and understood, but it's still in its infancy in the industrial space. But we exist as a startup to allow companies to monitor their operations more efficiently and run it better. And those kinds of predictions are really based on our AI capability. So I think for us, especially in the industrial sector, it's a growth barometer. It's the way that we will be measured in the future. So yeah, exciting times ahead in the industrial sector at least.
I've heard so many stories, industrial IoT and AI mixing together, especially in the automobile sector, with whatever advancements your car is talking back to you, basis doing some predictive analysis saying last 3 days you started the car at 8 o'clock in the morning. So on the fourth day, automatically at 7:58, it starts to preheat itself. Again, a little scared from a security perspective. That's a very different tangent. With that, Atul, I think you will probably add more when we speak about the perils of AI from a security perspective, but your opening comments.
For sure. So first of all, good afternoon, everyone. Great to be here. Okay. Hope I'm audible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now better.
So how I see it, now AI has become a new norm actually. So now we are not talking where we are using AI or not. In one way or other, directly, indirectly, we are already using AI, right? If you see from security perspective, and even before going to security, if you look at, we have discussed a lot of use cases, right? Now AI is going to very specific level, where it's a greenhouse, a grid management, to managing deep fakes, to managing IT, OT kind of system. We are moving to all the very specifics and deep tech kind of elements where now AI is playing a role. Another aspect here, if we look at the pace of adoption of that technology, almost a year and a half back when OpenAI launched ChatGPT for public usage, there was nothing called ChatGPT. People were not talking about generative AI, and the day it was launched, within a week of time, everybody was using ChatGPT. Not many of them. That was not the situation, say 20 years back. If you look at, we heard, say US is using mobile phones, and then after 5-10 years, we got the mobile phone in our hand. So the technology adoption is shifting in a big way, which is creating both the sides, the benefits and the challenges. And here comes the role of cybersecurity from addressing the challenge actually. For example, ChatGPT, when it came in, it was generating even malware codes, right? That was a challenge. But then we have tried solving the challenge and tried moving towards the ethical use of AI and all those perspectives. From the growth barometer, I'll say, again, I can talk more about security companies. Almost 80% of Indian cybersecurity product companies are leveraging AI as core of their product. That's the level of adoption which is happening. In terms of if you see the importance of this, recently you would have heard about GPI Summit, where India was the chair, right? Global Partnership for AI. India took that lead, and a lot of things that happened there was connected with or aligned with the New Delhi Declaration, what we call, right? It is aligned with the ethical use of AI, and we have taken, as India, we have taken a lead in terms of creating a global framework for ethical use of AI. All those kind of things are happening to make sure that we are leveraging AI in a more effective and efficient way. From our capability perspective, that's also one element I want to add here. If you have heard about Aravat One initiative, which is AI supercomputing initiative by CTAB, those kind of initiatives, what India has taken, apart from all the other initiatives that we are taking under PSA's office or DST or Minister of Electronics and IT is taking, apart from that, the specific initiatives like Aravat, where we are falling under 100 ranking of supercomputing for AI for all under that banner. Out of 500 supercomputing devices that globally we have, not India, globally, we are under 100. I think we have 75th rank. Those kind of capabilities we have in India. So in terms of growth parameter, if you see, definitely it's a major element to be a growth parameter. We need to look at the benefits that we are already doing it, and from deepfake, disinformation, and misinformation perspective, we have to be slightly ahead of the curve. And from cyber perspective, I think from legal and technology perspective, our ecosystem is stepping up and moving in the right direction to pick it up. So,
wow, I think you've covered 10, 15 different aspects. I don't know what to do a summary on, but the recent GPI summit that you're talking about, I love their motto. Their motto was AI for all, right? Number one. Number two, I think you spoke about the advent of technology. And I don't know, but some US scientists said that every 20 years, technology changes. I think he must be shifting in his grave, because I think every 3 to 4 years, I think the cycle has come down to 3 to 4 years where something new comes in and we have to adapt to it. Third, you said commercial use, and I think that's where now I want to bring in Yogesh from a smart city perspective for his opening comments.
Yeah. So good afternoon, all of you. I am representing government, and it's very difficult to speak at the end of the panel when everything is covered. But few things I would like to mention here. Since Jaspreet ji has said that there are two users, two community. One is user of AI and one is non-user. But I want to divide it into three. That one is common man user as a user, another is corporate world as a user, and third is government as a user. So what I believe that technology per se, AI in isolation cannot be solved. But AI is enabler for the solution or the outcome. So we need to think in that manner that how AI is solving the top 10 problems of this globe and what impact it is creating. So for that, I think there are three components which is required. First is the ecosystem through which we can nurture the talent and they can ideate, innovate and create good AI solutions because we are giving them access to the public data. And definitely a good AI solution needs it's a data intensive process. Second thing is product development. And product development by leveraging the Web3 technologies so that the good tools and technology can be used and infrastructure can be built on which the third process will be done, that is application development, that is the third layer development. As Atul has said that about the ChatGPT, I will tell you that the ChatGPT is a 4,000 line code only, simply 4,000 code line. So now the data scientist and the deep tech or the pro developers don't need to create long codes, but there are so many platforms are available on which they can apply their brain and create a good AI solutions. So this is my opening remark.
So AI as a service.
AI
right?
as a
Because
service.
we like to,
AI as a
whatever
service.
you might want to call it, but we like to add as a service in everything.
I is silent and as on
So-
the lighter note.
Yeah. So Yogesh, I would probably want to start with you now, give you the first this thing.
Thanks.
You spoke about government's role, right? And it cannot be one entity alone. It has to be an ecosystem, right? How do you see that ecosystem developing?
So, as an ecosystem, what I'm saying, we are also managing an incubation center where other stakeholders are also involved like startups.
Okay.
So, their contribution to this AI world is, I can give an example that through City Innovation Exchange, which is launched by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, where all smart cities, because it is almost 5 years for all the smart cities from the inception, and whatever problems they are facing through ICT and IoT infrastructure building, they can put it on the portal called CIX, and all the startups or incubation center having access to the problem, and those who are able to solve that problem, they will get direct work order on POC basis up to 1 CR.
Wow.
So this is the very innovative initiative, I can say initiative taken by ministry, that now the problems are coming because of the infrastructure which we have, ICT infrastructure which we have built in last 5 years, which can be solved through the innovative solutions provided by the startups. And any of them can get on the POC basis up to 1 CR. So they don't need to file any tender, they don't need to give any EMD.
So no business case, nothing.
No business case, nothing. Just prove your concept and get the work order. So this is one use case. And in smart cities also, we are taking so many projects like ICCC. We are the first smart city who has taken the control and command center of cloud 5 years back.
Okay.
So, so this application, it is a predictive analysis application through which we can identify the waste management vehicles. The tippers are roving around the city, whether they are violating their route or not, whether the traffic junctions are having congestion. So there is an alert mechanism to the authorities and citizens also. They can avoid that particular route, or if the environment sensor says that there is a high CO2 emission and that particular area, So it is all visible on the big screen and you can avoid that route. So that is very interactive way of using the technology, because ultimately it is a solution for the citizens.
Right. Right.
So
I think excellent use cases.
many
especially-
projects which I will cover later on if you allow me, and for the rest of the speakers. But this is how we are building the ecosystem, by giving opportunity to the startups to solve the problems of stakeholders and authorities with the innovative solution at a very low cost, not going
and
for
also
a big
thinking about the future.
think for the future. Yes.
Right.
So we are giving them access to all the data, like traffic management, like waste management, like transportation, public bike sharing. Every data is accessible to them, and they can come up with algorithms and AI solutions which we can utilize for creating an impact in the lifestyle of a public.
Sure. Atul, sorry, have to come back to your favorite topic.
Always there.
Yeah, everybody's talking about, if you see what EU has done, US has done, they've passed on regulations around ethics and responsible use of AI. Would you shed some light on why that is so important? And then we've seen few public cases in the last 3 months. What are your thoughts on that? And then how can we improve that?
Sure. So, actually, as I said, overall AI usage has gone to the individual level. It's not like at a government or at industry level. It has reached to that level. And the example that we have already heard from Avi and all, it's like the molestation kind of cases and harassment kind of cases which are emerging. That's happening at individual level, and that's leading to addressing those kind of harms. And that's why different countries and different entities and regulators have come up with different regulations. That's one aspect, but so here there is a balance required. What we have seen in India in past when IT Act came, once we have reached to a significant level of being an IT hub, right? So that balance is required where we are not curving the technology to grow, but at the same time we are trying to protect the people who are actually leveraging those technologies. So almost everyone, and not going into the specifics of what kind of regulations are coming in, but what I'll say, one thing that is triggering is multilateral and the global cooperation on those things, because everyone is having that challenge. Last year I was in one of the 1.5 track conversation in Brussels, and the idea was that how can we come together to look at how can globally we can use AI in a more efficient and effective way so that more adoption can happen. All those kind of things are happening. I'll slightly stretch the point here in terms of usage of AI, like what's happening at individual level. We have millions and billions of possibilities and interaction with technology. For example, if you take our interaction for financial transactions, there are so many possibilities, I would say steps are involved. If we miss one, there is a possibility of a fraud. At that kind of thing, AI is playing a very critical role, where all those millions and billions of possibility, where there are people who are not so literate, right? Even they are leveraging it. Here that we can't expect that individual to address all of those things. Here AI and this kind of technology is playing a critical role to manage all those possibilities and protect that individual.
So you're saying detecting as well as managing fraud would reduce by the help of
correct
AI.
And even if you look at from the senior management perspective, AI is giving use cases for some security technologies, leveraging this generative AI and LLMs, where like overall threat intelligence is changing. What's happening? You have your own infrastructure, you have threat intel feeds coming from global ecosystem, you have dark web where something is going on about you. Now, how will you consume all of those things at a senior management level? And you are dealing it with day in, day out, Jaspreet, like telling that to boards, telling that to senior management, this is the problem you have. So now companies are experimenting with the use cases where in a very transparent and effective way, they will tell based on your infrastructure, based on global intel and your dark web analytics, this is your security posture today, and this is the threat you have today. All those kind of use cases are picking up.
Sure. Thank you. I think very interesting times to look forward to, right?
Yes.
Kartik, coming to you. You said industrial IoT plus AI and not as front-ending as maybe the consumer or the AI that we use. How do you think this will shape the entire manufacturing spectrum in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, as I was saying, I mean, I think it's still in its infancy, but the possibilities of AI and the impact that it's had on the consumer space, we can sort of expect similar things to happen. And I think in general, it can be a leveler. It can level the playing field for local businesses here and allow us to compete in the international stage a lot easier. And AI allows us, I think, to create companies that can actually do that. Just to give you an example, I think we've all heard the example in the medical sort of diagnostics field where AI can potentially look at 20, 30,000 X-rays and try to identify issues that may be difficult for certain doctors to pick up on their own. And here, where there is generally a correlation between how much you're willing to pay and the quality of diagnostics.
Yep.
And so bringing down the cost of those kinds of diagnosis really is helpful for the entire society. And similarly, I think in the industrial field, when you're able to use AI to create products that are easy to use, ultimately for the customers, I think that has the same has the potential to have that kind of an effect, where you can really compete with any company in the world, and you basically bring down the cost and democratize the whole thing to a point where it's really accessible to everyone. So yeah, massive potential there for AI.
Wow. And I'll take probably two examples here. One on the X-ray piece that you said. I ran into an app in which you could upload your X-ray, and within half an hour, it would come back to you with three diverse opinions, three opinions from different people, saying what's the best line of treatment in case of this fracture. So, and obviously, I know a couple of health tech startups that are looking at only looking at your last 5 years blood test reports. All you need to do is upload it, and they will tell you on how your next 20 years from a health perspective, if you continue in the same pattern, how will they look like, whether you've got chances of having a blood pressure or a diabetes. It can actually predict that to a very certain degree of estimation. I think that will be a game changer for the health tech also.
Absolutely. And I think in general, with the population that we have, the amount of data that we can generate ourselves and mine that to make all of our lives easier in the future, I think,
Perfect.
That's really where that is.
Sadiya, some use cases from you on how AI has become a catalyst, and what are the next 2 years in your organization going to look like?
So there are two ways I look at it. One, the use case of AI in our organization when we run it. As I already told that we've started using AI not only for creating content, but also creating interactive, like a chat show with an AI. So that's like in the company side. When it comes to consumers, we are launching a facial which is called a smart facial, wherein a customer puts in all the, we analyze the skin, the customer gives all the details about her food habits or many other data points. And we have also put in all the ingredients of the products that we are using in the salon, and the machine predicts what kind of facial should we give to the customer. So instead of, just going into a salon, walking in and saying that I want to take a O3 facial today, we'll say, okay, fine, you just sit, give more details, and let the AI decide what would be the best facial for you. So that's one use case that we are having at a salons. As in the future, though it has not started in India yet, but as I told you in my previously that now AI, with the help of AI, with the help of robot, with the help of tech, we are, delivering services. So we are doing nail extensions, we are doing eyelashes extensions, and I'm sure very soon we would be doing facials also. So it will be eradicating the human intervention from the service delivery as well in future.
So you'll become a contactless organization, hopefully. Hopefully,
yes.
maybe we'll see how the
let's
future.
see what time is having for us, but I foresee that that to happen very soon with the kind of acceptance people have now for AI. I mean, as it is very difficult for a customer to accept that now my eyelashes would be done by a robot. But it is happening.
I think human interaction versus a robo interaction, I'll leave it to the experts on this panel to deliberate some other time, but future is going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Thank you. Dr. Anita, we've heard so much about what organizations are doing. What are some of the initiatives that the government is taking to propel the growth of AI and, you know, be in the front of all countries leading into the next decade or the decade as everybody calls it?
So I'd like to just share, there is, I think Atul has talked about the National Computing, Supercomputing Mission. DST is also partner along with MATI in this. Actually supercomputing is really helpful in climate domain as well, in climate research and modeling. And once we come out with the different modeling, risk assessment and vulnerability assessment of various climatic zones in the country, it is so beneficial. We can pass on the information to farmers for the better crop seasoning and management. And we have created as a part of our national mission and another mission, national mission on cyber physical systems. As a part of that mission, along with partnering with 25 leading technical institutions across the country, we have created technology innovation hubs. So most of these hubs are focusing on the emerging technologies and AI, ML, IoT, blockchain, human-computer interaction, robotics, all are part of it. And as a part of this, we are actually supporting end-to-end, from ideation to skilling to startup promotion, everything. So we are spurring the growth of innovation in this domain, not only creating the requisite infrastructure, but also providing the hassle-free support to the much needed innovation startups to scale up through various levels of technology, from technology readiness level 2 to bringing them to 8 to 9. I think we have a startup zone here. Close to 25 startups have been exhibited. One can walk through, and there is a startup from IIT, Triple IT Delhi and IIT Delhi, which is focusing on the, you can say, autonomous navigation of drones. That's also AI enabled. Another aspect which I would like to highlight, in a very recent announcement last year, government has announced quantum mission. And if you really marry quantum technology with AI, it is really going to be game changer and transformative, because the kind of speed, accuracy, efficiency it is going to bring in the processing of information. So that will be really a game changing. It is a close to 6,000 crores of mission for about 8 years. And as a part of this, we'll be focusing on the not only development of quantum computers, but also quantum communication, quantum materials, quantum meteorology and sensing. So that will be very beneficial for entire spectrum of application. As far as we shift towards clean energy and renewables, and also shared by, there's a lot of scope of integrating AI when we shift renewables and integrate with the smart grids.
Right.
Because cyber security layer will be added to it. And apart from it, in terms of e-mobility, EVs, we have to really discover new materials for storage. And AI enabled material discovery is also another good aspect where we are focusing on. And we are partnering with, we are part of Mission Innovation, which is a multilateral platform of about 24 countries. And for material discovery platform, we are partnering with Canada. And, getting, I think the canvas is so huge in terms of taking AI to next level and fast tracking our growth, integrating it across sectors, transportation, as I told, 4 sectors I've already highlighted.
Right.
And add to it climate modeling, energy domain, I think, and even material circularity. Everywhere it will have an impact. And as a government, our initiatives are really how to create the requisite ecosystem. So very important. And with infrastructure backed by policies as well as the support system to be in place. I think then India can really leapfrog in all growth agenda by leveraging and integrating AI in all domains of sectors of economy.
Superb. On a lighter note, you spoke about climate risk, right? By using AI more and more also is a climate risk, right? Because your computing power is going up. That's on a lighter note, ma'am. Thank you so much. Piyush, Avi, uh, let's try and become, to both of you, let's try and become consultants, right? Or advisors to the people sitting here. If anybody wants to start on a AI journey, what is it that they should look for? How should they start? And what are the perils that they should try and avoid?
Okay.
Sorry for putting you on the spot.
So, I think one should look at AI as a tech, right? And not a big crazy stuff. Yes, it is impacting our life on a regular basis, but from where I see it, look at your business, look at what is the problem that you're solving, right? And then try integrating AI from a point of view that how can it make it more efficient, both from a cost point of view and from a efficiency, overall operation efficiency point of view, right? And does it help me know my customer better? How do I do that, right? There are different tools, tech available which you can integrate, but I think the focus has to be more on the business front, that do I understand my business better, than trying to say, I have now AI, now what do I build around AI? A lot of times, that's the other challenge that is happening. Everyone is talking about AI, right?
Thank you.
Rather than trying to solve the problem. Sorry.
Thank you, Piyush, for bringing this out. Business first, enabled by AI.
Always.
I think,
Always.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people, at least I speak to, it's like 4 years ago. You went to a company and they said, I want to go to cloud. They had no idea what cloud was, but just because they'd heard this word somewhere, nowadays it's impossible to have a meeting where AI is not being spoken about.
Absolutely. And that's where it is, right? You will start the business because you're saying, okay, I'm in AI. But if you're not solving a core problem,
A business problem.
a core business problem, then it's not going to work. Then you can add any tech to it, as deep as possible. If it's not solving a business problem, if your customer is not willing to pay for it, it's not going to work.
Sure. Avi.
So I'll pick up from what Kartik was saying, that startups can get a head start if they use AI. And I think today it has given power in the hands of startups to do what large organizations were able to do 4 or 5 years back. Thus, I would strongly urge to implement AI on all functions, and that's what we've done. So we started off with 80 employees, today we are 50, and we've grown multifold. Why? Because we are able to do much more in each of the functions through each of the employees, because the productivity is higher. Today, when my developer is writing a code, they are able to first write it on a AI tool and then verify it and build on that. When I'm creating marketing campaigns, I know that I can write the first hand copy. The copywriter gets enabled through a chat GPT or some other tool. There are graphics which, like you were mentioning, are being created by AI. It is across field. Today, HR can now see productivity, look at which is the employee, which can, which is a potential hire to a potential fire. All of that could be done in a much better way, because there is data that was available to all of us, but that data can now be analyzed and implemented in a much, much easier manner. So from an organization point of view, there is a lot that we can do, and there is a head start that we can get. From a user point of view, and of course all organizations should put the user in the center, as Piyush was mentioning, both on the demand side as well as the supply side, there is a lot that can be done. I'll give you an example in terms of how we have done what, say, an Instagram or a Facebook also does not do today. When you come onto the platform and you write any statement, say if a woman comes to the platform and says, my daughter loves Barbie. Now in real time, the system is able to look at all conversations that are happening on the platform and tell the user that you should talk about this topic, or this statement is best to post in this community. because raising readers or raising kids is the best community to do so. Or if somebody is going through mental health and they are going to talk about, anxiety, it will immediately connect you and ask you to tag a professional who is a mental health expert who may be live that time and can give you real-time advice. So
Sure.
there is a lot that can be done, and I think we need to look at how and where in each of the functions we can implement AI to make optimization, and not just optimization, but to create new stuff which was not possible, I think, a couple of years back.
Right. So, one question before we start the closing marks. What is the biggest university in the world today? Simple question. What's the biggest university in the world today? WhatsApp University, sorry. So I read, on taking your example further, I read an article which said a lot of stores in Amazon now have the ability to predict when you open an app and type something, it will predict to 95% of accuracy whether you will actually buy this or not. And especially in some of the countries, they already started even packaging some of those stuff even before you've checked out to enable a 1-hour delivery system, right? So I think the future is endless, right? Yogesh, closing comments, please. Sorry. One minute.
So at the end, I will say that as Avi has said, na, he reduced his resources from 80 to 50. So people are thinking there is a news that lot many of you lose a job, a lot many of you lose a business because of AI coming into play. So I must be saying that you should not be afraid of AI per se, but you should be afraid of the people who know how to use AI. So you should upgrade your skills, update your skills, and utilize to solve this technology for a problem statement and create a bigger impact. So I am very optimistic that India will have a good impact in AI economy of this globe by using the technology.
Thank you, Yogesh. Atul.
Sure. So, as Yogesh said, we should not be afraid of AI. And as I think Avi said, from AI, you should not come up with, like, I'm solving something using AI, but for your use cases, take it as a propeller or something which can enable your business. And I don't see any of the domain which is not where AI and these emerging tech is not making you changing your orbit. So we should find out use cases, we should find out ways where we can leverage those technologies and move to the next orbit. It's kind of capability development, leveraging the AI, leveraging these emerging tech. And as you say, the AI was there. Now what is changing is the kind of compute that we are getting, as Dr. Anita was also talking about, the kind of compute we are getting and the access to the data that we have. Because of that, so many things are happening. And now we need to find out where we can position our use cases, leverage the AI and emerging tech, move to the next orbit, solve the real-time challenges in a more effective way. So this is what I'll say, sitting at the startup stage, I'll say all the startups should look at the use cases which you can solve with the AI.
Thank you, Atul. Kartik?
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, Jaspreet, I think AI can be a tool that can level the playing field. I think that's important moving forward. And looking at it purely from an industrial standpoint, I think we are still in its infancy. So I'm really excited to see what will come in the future. And just wanted to sort of close with the point saying that it's important to keep the people involved at the center of all of this. There's obviously going to be some decisions that government has to make about how it impacts the workforce. But assuming you have a business like Piyush was saying earlier that has customers, AI can really be the differentiator for you.
Love the comment on AI being a leveler.
It is indeed. Yeah, so as everyone has said, I believe that all of us, especially in the startups, should use AI, should leverage the power of AI in order to be more productive, in order to be more innovative, in order to be more growth oriented and work at a very fast pace, because what you could do maybe in 7 days with the help of AI, you can do it in 7 hours also. You can calculate your growth years, and if you use it right, I'm sure the future is bright.
Use it right, the future is bright. Has AI written it?
No.
Oh, okay. Avi, your closing comments, please.
I think it's been a great discussion today and a lot of varied views from all the panelists. So thank you so much. I would say that, today we are hearing a lot of buzzwords around, and I think it's very important for both as users as well as, proponents of ambassadors of AI, that we educate ourselves in terms of what is really the core of all this technology and how it can be implemented in each of the functions or fields that we are in. And then make sure that our teams are also continuously learning, because AIs are not going to take away jobs, but they are going to enable users, enable employees, enable customers to do better, do more, and do things in a much more effective manner. So the crux here is that we educate ourselves and implement it in the best possible manner. Of course, today, in the current stage, AI also needs to be taken with a pinch of salt. A lot of times the prompts that you give are also what you get as a result. So it's important that we also put up human intelligence on top of what we are getting as results.
Yeah, let's not forget about HI, human intelligence. Piyush, your closing comments.
Yeah, like I mentioned, focus on your customer. AI is part of the journey and it will happen. If you are a startup sitting out here, solve a customer problem. AI will be an enabler. You can't avoid it. You can't run away from it. I think you're anyways adapting to it. But link it with the customer problem. I think the growth will be faster.
Make it a customer problem. Thank you. Last but not the least, Dr. Anita, your closing comments, please.
My closing comments are, let us harness and embrace AI to make a world a better place, and not only better place, much more cleaner and greener planet. So I would like to use AI for decarbonizing planet in multitude of ways. So that's my.
To a safer and a better planet. Please give a huge round of applause to all my fellow panelists. Thank you.